Problem 22. A circle has an area of 254.34 centimeters squared. What is the length of the diameter? Since it's giving us area, I'm going to go ahead and write down the area formula. A equals pi r squared. And ask myself, which one of these terms represents area? And we know that the term that represents area is the big A. Problem tells us a circle has an area of 254.34 centimeters. So I'm going to plug that in for the area. 254.34. Well, I know pi is approximately 3.14, and I don't yet know the radius because it's asking me for the diameter. So now I know I'm going to have to do a little bit of math. 254.34. We've been told in class that we're generally going to use 3.14 for our value for pi. We still don't know the radius squared, but now I've reduced the problem to a single variable that we're solving for by plugging in the area for my big A and substituting an approximate value of pi for the pi symbol. That leaves me with one term, or one variable that is unknown. And so now we're going to start trying to solve to figure out what that one term is. In order to get the variable by itself, I divide both sides by 3.14. And I determine that 81 is equal to r squared. And I know square roots are a little bit new to us, but we did memorize all of our perfect squares. And we memorized our perfect squares so that we can ask ourselves what number, when multiplied by itself, is going to give us this value. So I know, let's see, 9 times 9, so 9 squared is going to equal 81. Another way we can say that is we can take the square roots of both sides of this equal sign. The square root of 81 is 9 equals r. And we'll get a lot more practice with that, especially as we get into 8th grade. But for right now, it's just so valuable to know those perfect squares so that these problems come very natural to you. Once I know the radius is 9, that helps me out because, remember, when I have a circle, the radius is the distance from the center to any side of the circle. So if that is 9, then I know my diameter is twice 9, which would be 18. So we can answer this question by saying diameter equals 18 centimeters. Number 23. The distance around a bicycle wheel is 6.28 feet. What is the diameter? Well, the distance around a bicycle wheel, that's the circumference of this shape. So the first thing I'm going to do is write down my circumference formula. C equals pi times diameter. And again, I'm given the circumference. I'm given the distance around. So 6.28 is equal to pi times the diameter. Now the only term I know here, since I have two variables essentially, is pi. I have an approximate value that we've been told in class we can use for pi. 3.14 times the diameter equals 6.28. Ultimately, we're looking for that value of the diameter, so I'm going to divide both sides by 3.14 and determine that D is equal to 2. D represented my diameter. So we've completed this problem by saying that D is 2 feet. Problem number 28. A circle has an area of 28.26 centimeters squared. What is the length of the radius? So area equals pi r squared. We're given the area is 28.26. So again, I'm going to plug in a 3.14 for that approximate value of pi. I'm going to divide both sides by 3.14. 28.26 divided by 3.14 will give me 9 equals r squared. So what number, when multiplied by itself, would equal 9? Can only be 3. 3 times 3 is 9. So my radius would equal 3.